Welcome back to Latin Nation. I'm your host, Humberto Guida. Now, up next is a very special segment for me. After years of dreaming what the land of my forefathers is like, I finally got to go to Cuba. Now, going to Cuba is not an easy thing for us Cuban Americans because there's still so much oppression on the island, and most of us do not want to support the current regime in any way, including with our tourist dollars. But despite the controversies and mixed feelings, I went. Why? Because my generation of Cuban Americans needs to see for ourselves what our families left behind and why we left in the first place. I want to know where my people come from, understand their nature, and to see what is in store for the future of this unique and vibrant nation. They've been saying Cuba is undergoing change. Not the political change my Cuban American community has struggled for, but an economic change, a cultural change, all on the heels of de-isolation from the rest of the world, including the United States. And honestly, I had to go to Cuba to see it for myself. So here is a montage of what I saw on my transformational trip to the land of my forefathers, the island of Cuba. Enjoy. They've been saying Cuba is undergoing change. Not the political change my Cuban American community has struggled for, but an economic change, a cultural change, all on the wave of de-isolation from the rest of the world, and soon to be included, the U.S. I'm the first of my family to go back. Back being a relative term since I've never been to Cuba. I was born in Miami, to parents who left Cuba as kids, to grandparents who had everything taken away by what was supposed to be a justified and romantic revolution, all of whom have refused to go back as long as the communist Castro dictatorship was still in power. So I went back for them. What I saw in Cuba is unparalleled natural beauty in the land surrounding Havana. I traveled through Vinales, a fertile valley with red clay soil, endless tobacco farms, and prehistoric monolithic rocks rising from the ground.
I'm basically traveling through Havana right now with a distant family that I recently met for the first time, and it's not exactly what you would expect. It's actually a lot better kept than I thought. You know, the city's actually very organized. Maybe with some more tourist dollars, we can do some better paint job. But that's about it. Everything else is beautiful.
Havana itself is a centuries-old city where the ghosts of a glorious past race among the old buildings, some of which are restored and picturesque, others crumbling and decaying, but all equally haunting. In the midst of that history, there is new art, new music, and new ideas. I also got to see the impact of a revolution gone mad. Cubans shout about everything, but they whisper when talking about the government here. There are no ads or billboards, only government propaganda and motivational messages on the public walls that come across as Orwellian and creepy. But I also got to see the incoming tide of that aforementioned positive change. It's coming through the increasingly available licenses for Cuban citizens to conduct private businesses in support of the surging tourism industry. It's these economic doors that have opened and present an opportunity to widen the freedoms of the Cuban people, like water and ice expanding in the cracks of a wall. There's an anxious joy that simmers inside the youth in Cuba as they congregate by the thousands en el malecón, shimmering and shaking to the battling conga beats and radios. It's happening. Not a revolution, but an evolution. I'm Humberto Guida. I'm a Cuban American, and I'm glad I saw Cuba for myself.